The deep ocean was once thought to be a lifeless desert, a place of crushing pressure, absolute darkness and freezing cold. For centuries we believed that all life on our planet ultimately depended on the sun. Its light fuels the growth of plants, which in turn feed the creatures of the land and the shallow seas. But in 1977, our understanding of life itself was shattered. A team of scientists, nestled inside the small submersible Alvin, descended into the Galapagos Rift, nearly 2.5 kilometers beneath the waves. They were not searching for life. What they found instead would change biology forever. There, in the perpetual midnight of the abyss, they witnessed something extraordinary. Plumes of what looked like black smoke were billowing from cracks in the seabed. As the lights of the submersible swept across the volcanic terrain, they revealed not a desolate wasteland, but a vibrant, teeming ecosystem. It was a sight that defied all logic. The initial reports from the Alvin expedition were met with a mixture of awe and disbelief. The sheer density of life was staggering. Towering forests of giant tube worms, some reaching over 2 meters in length, swayed gently in the chemical-rich currents. There were fields of giant clams, their shells stark white against the dark basalt. Clusters of ghostly white crabs scuttled across the rocks, and strange pale fish darted through the shimmering, heated water. As explorations continued, the picture became even more astonishing. Swarms of shrimp, blind and pale, congregated around the hottest parts of the vents, seemingly immune to temperatures that would boil other creatures instantly. The diversity was breathtaking. New species were being discovered on almost every dive. There were bizarre octopuses, nicknamed Dumbo for their ear-like fins, gliding through the darkness. The central mystery of the vent ecosystems was their power source. On the surface, life runs on sunlight. Plants and algae capture solar energy through photosynthesis, converting carbon dioxide and water into sugars. The answer lay not in the light, but in the chemical soup spewing from the vents. It was a process that scientists would come to call chemosynthesis, and it was a revelation. Instead of using light energy, certain microbes harness chemical energy to produce food. These microscopic organisms are able to oxidize hydrogen sulfide, using the energy released from this chemical reaction to convert carbon dioxide into the organic molecules they need to live and grow. These chemosynthetic bacteria are the primary producers of the vent ecosystem. They grow in thick, slimy mats on the rocks surrounding the vents, creating a visible film of life. The creatures that call hydrothermal vents home are biological marvels. Life at the vents means enduring a set of challenges that would be instantly fatal to most other forms of life. The temperature gradients are severe, swinging from near-freezing ambient seawater to over 400 degrees Celsius, right at the vent opening. Consider the Pompeii worm, Alvinella pompeiana. This remarkable creature holds the record as one of the most heat-tolerant animals on Earth. To protect itself from the heat, the worm secretes a mucus that encourages the growth of a fleece-like coat of bacteria. Another master of this environment is the scaly foot snail. Its shell is composed of 3 layers, including an outer layer infused with iron sulfides, giving it a dark metallic appearance. Even more remarkably, its foot is covered in hard mineralized scales, also made of iron sulfides. The vent shrimp, Rimicaris exoculata, has no eyes in the traditional sense. Instead, it has a thermal sensor on its back, an organ that allows it to see the heat radiating from the vents. Perhaps the most elegant solution to survival in the harsh vent environment is found not in individual resilience, but in partnership. The most famous example is the giant tube worm, Riftia pachyptila. These magnificent creatures have no mouth, no stomach, and no gut. Their survival is entirely dependent on a huge population of bacteria living inside a specialized organ called the trophosome. In this perfect symbiotic exchange, the tube worm provides its bacterial partners with a safe home and a steady supply of the raw materials they need for chemosynthesis. But this strategy of internalizing bacteria isn't unique to the tube worms. The giant white clams also host chemosynthetic bacteria in their gills. They use their large muscular foot to burrow into the sediment, positioning themselves precisely where they can draw in both the oxygen-rich seawater from above and the sulfide-rich water seeping from below. The mussels that carpet the rocks use a similar strategy. These symbiotic relationships are a recurring theme at hydrothermal vents, a testament to the power of cooperation in overcoming environmental challenges. The discovery of hydrothermal vent ecosystems did more than just add a few new species to the catalogue of life on Earth. It fundamentally challenged our most basic assumptions about the conditions necessary for life to exist. Before 1977, the prevailing scientific dogma was simple: no sun, no life. But the vibrant communities thriving in the total darkness of the abyss, powered by the Earth's geothermal energy, tore up that rulebook. It presented a new blueprint, a sort of second genesis, proving that life could follow a completely different path. This realization opened our eyes to the possibility of life in other extreme environments that had previously been considered sterile. We began to look for life in the acidic waters of volcanic lakes, deep within the frozen ice of Antarctica, and miles down in the Earth's crust, and we found it. Some scientists even began to speculate that hydrothermal vents may not just be a strange exception to the rule, they might have been the very place where life first began. The remarkable organisms of the deep-sea vents represent a treasure trove of biological innovation with immense potential for practical applications. One of the most significant discoveries has been the isolation of heat-stable enzymes, particularly DNA polymerase. Heat-resistant polymerases have revolutionized molecular biology and are now essential tools in genetic testing, forensic science and medical diagnostics, including the rapid testing for infectious diseases. The potential applications extend far beyond the laboratory. For instance, microbes that can break down toxic chemicals and heavy metals could be harnessed to clean up polluted industrial sites. Enzymes that function under extreme conditions are being explored for use in everything from manufacturing detergents that work efficiently in cold water to producing biofuels more effectively. Scientists are screening novel molecules from vent organisms for anti-inflammatory, antiviral, and anti-cancer properties. A compound derived from a deep-sea bacterium has shown promise in clinical trials for treating certain types of cancer. The discovery of life thriving independently of sunlight at hydrothermal vents electrified the search for life beyond our planet. This realization immediately brought new worlds into focus, particularly the icy moons of Jupiter and Saturn. Chief among them is Europa, a moon of Jupiter covered by a thick shell of water ice. Data from space probes suggest that beneath this ice lies a vast global ocean of liquid water, kept from freezing by the tidal forces exerted by Jupiter's immense gravity. This constant flexing could generate significant geothermal heat, enough to potentially create hydrothermal vents on Europa's ocean floor. The same logic applies to other celestial bodies like Saturn's moon Enceladus, which has been observed actively spewing plumes of water, ice and simple organic molecules into space from a subsurface ocean. These worlds, once considered inert balls of ice, are now seen as potential deep-sea habitats. Future missions to these icy moons will be designed with this in mind, equipped with probes that can drill through the ice and explore the oceans below. The discovery on the Galapagos Rift was not just about finding strange worms and clams. It was about finding a new hope, a new direction in our quest to answer one of humanity's oldest questions. Are we alone in the universe? The hydrothermal vents of Earth have become our model for what alien life might look like in the most likely places we might find it. They teach us that life may not announce itself with green vegetation on a sun-drenched surface, but could be hidden away in the dark, powered by the internal energy of its world. The deep-sea vents taught us that to find life, we must be prepared to look in places we have never looked before, and to question our most deeply held beliefs about what is and is not possible. It's shown us that life is more resilient, more adaptable, and more creative than we ever imagined. It's not a fragile flame, easily extinguished, but a tenacious force capable of colonizing the most inhospitable corners of the planet. The rules of life, it turned out, were far more flexible than we knew. The discovery of these thriving oases in the abyss opened a new chapter in our exploration of the natural world, proving that even in the most unlikely of places, life has a remarkable way of taking hold. The deep sea has shown us that the answer may be waiting in the dark.